Hey guys, it's Cece, and today I am going to wrap up all of the books that I read in the month of July. In July, I read a lot of books. This month I read 14 books, 2 of which were graphic novels, but the rest were all full novels, so I'm feeling really awesome, really ahead of the game on breaking down my TBR. 14 books, really exciting, and it means we need to get started right away because I have a lot of books to cover. So, first in July, I read Unspeakable by Abby Rushton. This is an LGBT book. It follows our main character, Megan, who hasn't spoken in months because she has some sort of really deep secret that she doesn't want to let out, and she fears if she begins to talk, then she will let that secret out into the world, and it's this horrible, horrible secret. And then shortly after this novel begins, a new girl named Jasmine moves into her school, who Megan starts to form a bond with, and sort of makes her want to speak again. I was so excited about this book, and I did not like it at all. So my problems with this book, there were a lot. I didn't believe any of the characters. I felt like they were really all over the place, especially Megan's mom. I know that she's supposed to be sort of all over the place, but it didn't feel believable when I was reading it. I didn't really like any of the characters. Even Megan, I didn't really like, not because she frustrated me, because I do understand sort of the things she was going through and why she couldn't speak, but there were a lot of other things about her that frustrated me. And honestly, I really didn't like this book until it started getting into the actual Megan-Jasmine relationship, which was not until well into the book, and that's the only stuff that I thought was written fairly well. So I was really disappointed with this book, and I'm really sad that I had to give this book 2 out of 5 stars. This was such a disappointment to me. I really wanted to love this book, and I did not. So, as you all know, if you've been following me on Twitter or on Goodreads, or if you've heard me talk at all this month, because this is pretty much all I've been talking about, after I read Unspeakable, I reread the entire Harry Potter series. That's right, I finished all 7. When I did my TBR, people said that they would be impressed if I actually got them all done. Honestly, I'm a little surprised I got them all done, but I did. I finished all 7 books. So, I'm just gonna hold up this first one. I'm not going to talk a ton about how much I love Harry Potter and how great Harry Potter is, because I want to do a couple of videos around a Harry Potter theme to celebrate my reread. I want to do the Harry Potter book tag, and possibly something else Harry Potter related. But I just wanted to say that because I've already finished my reread of Back to Hogwarts 15, if you did not know about this already, head over to the Book Vagrant's channel. This is her thing that she started, and I loved being able to participate in it, even though I read them all really quickly. I had so much fun. I'm so glad that I got to find a group of people to reread Harry Potter with, and that are still reading Harry Potter. I'm still keeping up with you guys, and I'm seeing where you are, and I love to hear your thoughts about the series that we all really love. So, of course, I gave all of the Harry Potter books, 1 through 7, 5 out of 5 stars. Also, while I was rereading this series, the Harry Potter Funko Pops came out, and I have 4 of those. Ron and Hermione, who you've already seen if you've watched a couple of my other recent videos, and Voldemort and Snape. Voldemort's adorable. He looks like he's got his hands up like, what? It's not that bad. I just want to enslave the Muggle world. It is bad, Voldemort. It's really bad. Snape also sits... I make him face the corner on my books because I'm not a fan of Snape. I don't like Snape. I feel like this is going to start a thing in the comments. I'm not going to get into this and explain all my reasons because I'll go off. But I don't really like Snape, but I mean, he's important to the story, and so I have to have him. But Snape faces the corner so that every now and then I can point my finger at him and go, you know, just because you did the one good thing does not excuse all the other really awful things. So while I love how cute my little Snape Funko is, he gets my scorn sometimes. Also, before you all start getting on me for having Voldemort and Snape and not having Harry, it's because I am collecting them with Janelle. Janelle has the rest. Janelle has Dumbledore, Harry with Gryffindor's sword, and she has Hagrid, and we're looking for Harry with Gryffindor robes, but that's why I don't have Harry, so chill. It's not because I hate Harry. Let's not start that either. Okay, I've talked way too much about Harry Potter. I've talked way too much. I cried so often because all I do is cry during these books. So I will do videos after Booktubeathon to talk more about Harry Potter. That's where we will leave this Harry Potter conversation for now that I said was going to be short and is not short. Okay, so between reading Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix and Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, I picked up a different book in preparation for a video I did, my favorite fairy tale retellings, which you should go check out if you like fairy tale retellings. And that book that I read was The Storyteller's Daughter by Cameron Doki. This is part of the Once Upon a Time books, not related to the show. That's just what they're called. These were around before the show. So this is a retelling of the Arabian Nights. That's pretty much all you need to know about it. It is a very, very quick book. Not very long at all. All of these Once Upon a Time books you can get through in a couple of hours, which I did. It was kind of nice to read in the middle of those bulkier Harry Potter books, but I really liked this book. I thought it was very lyrical, and I really enjoyed all of the stories that were told, which I think is a very important part of a retelling of the Arabian Nights. You've got to have good stories, and I thought that the stories of this were really good, and while the characters weren't super developed, I mean, it's a really small book. That's kind of not what it's for. They were really nice characters. I gave this book 3.5 out of 5 stars because it was really good and it was a really good light retelling. So at the end of the month is when I started doing TBR Takedown, which was a readathon. I also just posted the wrap up for that readathon today, which you can go watch. During TBR Takedown, I read the end of Half-Blood Prince and I read the entirety of The Deathly Hallows, and then I read Speak by Laurie Halse Anderson. Speak is about our main character Melinda, who is going into her first year of high school, and she is, for some reason that we are not told for a while, she is a social outcast. Her friends don't talk to her anymore, everyone in the school hates her for some reason, and she is just a very sad person in general. So this book doesn't have a ton of specific plot points. Really, it is really just about Melinda's first year of high school and her thoughts about high school, also slowly revealing what it is that left her an outcast. Of course, this book won a Prince Award, and it was a National Book Award finalist. This is a very important book that a lot of people read in school, and so I can't believe I hadn't read it yet. And I absolutely loved it. I felt so affected by the story. I read it in just a couple of hours because it's a very, very fast book, under 200 pages, and there's not a lot of words on each page, so you can get through it really quickly. But I think it packs such an emotional punch into so little time. Of course, I have my tabs all over here. I think I would have read this, I think I would have cried more. I only have one little cry tab. I think I would have cried more if I hadn't been reading this at like 2 in the morning. But it was a readathon, so I was reading it at 2 in the morning. However, I think Melinda had a lot of really funny and really insightful things to say about high school that I definitely agreed with. So that's what a lot of these other little tabs are. It was an amazing, amazing book that totally lived up to the hype. I gave this book 5 out of 5 stars. I really love Laurie Halse Anderson. This is my second book by her, and I definitely want to pick up more. After Speak, I read Zeros by Scott Westerfeld, Margot Lanigan, and Deborah Biancotti. This is an arc of Zeros, and because I'm going to do a full review of this book, I'm not going to talk about it too much, but I will say that I gave it 4.5 out of 5 stars. I read through it so quickly, which is a surprise because this is quite a large book. This book comes out in September of 2015, but again, I will talk about it more in my review after Booktubeathon. So many videos and so many things to read. Booktubeathon. It's gonna take some time. After Zeros, I read my 2 graphic novels, and those were the City in the Desert graphic novels, the first of which is The Monster Problem, and the second one is The Serpent Crown. These are both by Mauro Rogers, and I just happened to find these at the library because I like to go to the library in my graphic novel section and just pick up books that look interesting. So, in this graphic novel, we follow our 2 main characters, Iroh and Hari, I believe is how you say their names, and they are monster hunters because in this world that exists, there are monsters. However, their living is threatened when a religious sect comes in and says they know how to fix the monster problem. However, they seem to have nefarious plans. This is a really, really fantastic graphic novel that I'm so glad that I happened to find at my library. The world is incredible. There's so much mythology at the very beginning that I think is really interesting. There's the whole creation story of how these monsters were born, which I thought was really cool. Also, the art is just absolutely beautiful. I love the way it's told and the way all of the characters look. I really like Iroh and Hari's relationship. Hari's a really cool character. I thought she's a fun character. And I really loved these. I read them so quickly because I got so much enjoyment out of them. Unfortunately, it's going to take a while for the third book to exist because I did some research and Moral Rogers is self-publishing the third one. She kind of left the publishing company that was handling them. So the last book is going to be published as part of an omnibus, which I'll buy. I'll buy all three of them because I think they're really, really great. But it means I'm going to have to wait a while. So for now, I will just say that I gave this first book 4 out of 5 stars, and I gave the second book 3.5 out of 5 stars, because while this book was really, really good, I don't think it quite lived up to how intense the first book was. So I'm still really interested in the third book, and I definitely want to have all of them. And finally, in July, I read Positively Beautiful by Wendy Mills. And unfortunately, I started and ended this month not liking my books. Sometimes I have a really hard time with YA contemporary books, I'm sorry. So this book, Positively Beautiful, follows our main character, Erin, and she discovers that her mother has cancer. But not only does she have cancer, she has a very specific gene mutation that is genetically inherited, and Erin finds out she might have it as well, and she has to decide whether or not she's going to be tested for it and how that affects her future. So that is the summary of the book, and when I read the summary, I assumed that that meant it was going to be a story more focused on a mother-daughter relationship, and it ended up being a lot more about romance than I wanted it to be. I don't like how focused young adult contemporary can get on romance, especially when it is really tropey and really predictable, and that really bogged the story down because I thought all of the stuff with Erin and her mom was really interesting and I liked it. And what saved this book a little bit was the end of the book and Erin with her mom, which was really, really good. And honestly, it got me to shed a tear because I really liked her relationship with her mom near the end, but all of the tropey young adult contemporary stuff bogged this down so much. Erin's best friend Trina is such a caricature. She is the same quirky best friend that exists in so many books that really frustrated me. There is the popular girl who doesn't like Erin, and of course the broody, mysterious guy who used to be popular that Erin's really into for some reason, and it just I couldn't get myself to care because of it. So unfortunately, I had to give this book 2.5 out of 5 stars, despite the fact that it had a strong ending. The rest of it, I just didn't care about at all. So guys, that's everything that I read in the month of July. I talked a lot more about Harry Potter than I wanted to. I feel like I read a lot of great books this month, and I'm excited to move on to next month because I have some books picked out already. I'll be filming my TBR for August tomorrow to post for you guys, so you can check that out later. If you guys have read any of these books, then let me know what you thought. Did you like them? Did you not like them? Did you disagree with me on anything? And also, what books did you really love this month? Let me know in the comments what your favorite book that you read this month was, because I want to hear about it. So, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you liked all the stuff that I read, and I will see you in another video very soon. Bye!